Welcome to our channel, where we bring shocking secrets, unexpected developments and twists that will leave you breathless every second. In this episode of Beyond the Gates, the truth is revealed and will keep you glued to the screen. A secret that has been hidden for decades will explode, causing the fate of the main characters to take an unexpected turn. Prepare yourself for a real shock, because what you are about to learn will change every definition of betrayal, regret and redemption. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any moment in these increasingly dramatic and engaging stories. Bill feels everything around him stop as he stands face to face with Nicole, the woman he once believed was just a small part of his complicated past. But at that fateful moment, all his emotions were crushed by the unbelievable truth that had just been revealed. Nicole, with a conflicting look in her eyes between regret and determination, could no longer keep the secret. She revealed that Martin was Bill's biological son, a son whose existence he had never known existed his entire life. The information was like a thunderbolt that struck Bill's heart, which was already heavy with loss and mistakes. In an instant, all the memories and moments of his life came back, screaming out unanswered questions. How could a father not know about the existence of his own child? How could he have lived all these years while his own son, his own flesh and blood, grew up without a father figure by his side? Every detail of Martin's life now became a series of knots that Bill could not piece together. Why did Nicole keep it a secret? Why could she be so cruel as to rob him of his sacred fatherhood for such a long time? But then, in Nicole's choked sobs, an even more painful truth gradually emerged. She did not do it out of selfishness or hatred. On the contrary, it all stemmed from an overwhelming fear and a desperate attempt to protect Martin from the darkness of Bill's past, a past full of mistakes, dangers, and enemies. Nicole had witnessed Bill slide into dangerous calculations, living in a world of conspiracies, betrayals, and pain. She knew that if Martin were revealed to be Bill's son, his life would no longer be peaceful. So she chose to remain silent, completely cutting off the connection between father and son so that Martin could grow up in a normal environment, away from the darkness that Bill had once immersed himself in. However, the price of that silence was too great. It not only made Bill lose the opportunity to be a father, but also made Martin grow up with a hole in his heart, the hole of an absent father. This shock made Bill unable to stand. His entire being seemed to collapse from within. He collapsed, not because his body was injured, but because his heart was torn apart by a feeling of extreme regret. He realized that all these years, while he was absorbed in power struggles, mixed relationships between hatred and love, somewhere in this world, his biological son was existing, living, growing up without knowing about his father's existence. And he, too, had gone through that period of his life blindly, not realizing that his own flesh and blood was so close. Bill began to think of all the things he had missed: Martin's first steps, his first day of school, his teenage sorrows, his early successes. All the sacred moments a father longs to witness, he had not been there for. It was not that he did not love his son, but that he did not know that he had a son to love. The pain was unlike any other he had ever felt. It could not be soothed by money, power, or any apology. It was a deep, burning cut in his soul that would never heal. The truth about Martin not only breaks Bill down but also pushes him into a difficult confrontation with himself. He is forced to look back at his entire life, every choice, every mistake, every person he has hurt. He begins to see clearly that the price of power is not only loneliness but also the precious things left behind. Martin is more than a name. He is a symbol of what Bill once lost: tenderness, love, and the chance to make amends. Now that the truth has been revealed, Bill faces a bigger question than anything else: does he still have the chance to be a father? Can Martin forgive a father he has never known, never loved, never called dad? And if he does, will Bill have the courage to move past regret and start over? In Bill's chaotic mind, Martin's image appeared more clearly than ever. A strong, independent young man, but hidden deep in his eyes were wounds that had never been healed. Bill knew that, even though he had never met Martin as a father, he had always had an invisible thread connecting them, that was blood, the undeniable connection of family love. He longed to meet Martin. Not to explain or defend, but just to see him with his own eyes, to feel the existence of a part of his soul that he had unintentionally lost. But Bill also understood that things were no longer simple. Martin may have grown up with anger, suspicion, or even hatred towards the father who had never been present in his life. And did he? A man full of scars from the past, have enough qualities to be a support for his son in the future? Nicole, even though she was the one who kept the secret, was now torn between right and wrong. She couldn't deny that hiding the truth was a difficult and painful choice, but she couldn't change the past. She looked at Bill with pity, a man who seemed to be made of iron. Now became fragile and strangely vulnerable. Perhaps it was at this moment that she saw the sincerity in his eyes, the remorse that could not be expressed in words. It was too late to do it again. But perhaps there was still time to fix it. Bill, with all he had, with his broken heart, with all his pain and hope, could only pray for one thing, that Martin could give him a chance. Even the smallest, to be present in his life from this moment on. No need to forgive, no need to call him father, just let him see his son live, breathe, and walk on his journey, as a way for him to atone for the lost years. Thank you to the audience for following this tearful and remorseful story to the end. Life always contains hidden truths. And sometimes, those secrets are what shape the fate of an entire life. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel to continue accompanying the dramatic developments. Unexpected twists and stories that make your heart flutter with every beat.